I met a gypsy.
So I saw on the video at one point, like Ferandis is out on the track, and I'm sure there are a bunch of other guys riding. It actually looked like you did a lot of laps that first day that you rode Supercross. How do you reckon? Obviously, you're not trying to be speed-wise, like you're not going all the way as fast as you can, and that's not the plan, and it's not the move for you to just go out and try and go that fast first day. But was there, because I mean, there's got to be a point where you're like, you wake up in the morning and you know you're about to ride Supercross for the first time on your factory bike. You got to be a little bit like, man, like, can I do this? So what was it like, your expectations wise, and then did you see the speed they were going and think like, oh, I can eventually do that?
Yeah, I watched like Colt, Nichols, Dylan, and I sat there before I went out and rode. Just watched them go through the whoops. They got some crazy whip speed, and then just seeing Colt's like burn, how he hit the turns, how hard he hit them, and like seeing how he races Supercross, and it's like, oh, that kind of makes sense. He's hitting the turns that hard. Probably gives me a good reason why he's obviously up front. So I was kind of just going to give that to myself to go out on the Supercross track and kind of copy what Colt was doing. Not to the pace he was going, obviously, because not up there yet, but just got out on the track and just try to be smooth the first day on the bike. So just getting the track figured out, and we practiced the whoops a lot because I was trying to get those dialed on the 250. First time I ever rode the Supercross track on a 250, and got thrown on the gnarly fast bike. So it was a fun time getting to hit all the fat rhythms, and those bikes handle crazily good. Like, you'll clip a rhythm, barely feel it. Like, the suspension's just crazy. Going through the whoops, handles like super nice, and you got the suspension guy there too with you, watching you do the whole track. So he obviously watches me through the whoops. Oh, we'll make this change, we'll do this. It's sweet.
It honestly just sounds like fun. Like, that sounds just like a fun day of riding.
Yeah, it's crazy, you know? Everyone's just watching you, and you're getting ride with the factory guys. It's like, how would you ever want to give this up?
Yeah, well, you're one of those factory guys now. It's like, you're saying like, oh, you get to ride with the factory guys. It's like, hey, you're the factory guy now too.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy getting to ride with these guys and be one of the guys. So it's definitely a good path.
So, Swanee, did you know Swanee that much before you signed the deal and like come out here, or?
I knew Swanee a little bit. I seen him at the tracks, and Caleb and Swanee are I believe, from South Africa both. So Caleb talked about him a little bit, and looking at the different teams, I knew who his trainer was, and he came and talked to me a few times here and there just to see how it's going. So I kind of knew who he was, but nothing crazy until I really came out here to Florida and started training with him.
Yeah, he is a really, really cool dude, and he knows his shit, man. Like we were talking before we started recording, that advice. I loved that clip and the way that he sort of said to you, he was just like, hey man, if you get this figured out now, it's going to really help your career. That's just like, that's some really legitimate OG advice from that guy. And you could see, like, I kind of got the vibe of what he was saying about basically like you want to get into this body position before the whoops and then just like lock yourself in, stay in that position and just go through them. And then it was cool to like see you instantly take that on board and just like do run after run after run through the whoops.
Yeah, it's good when someone can see something in you that is not perfected yet. Like, Swanee found a few things in me that needed to be fixed, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more things that down the road will have to be fixed. But one of those was getting into the whoops, and that stuff right there will lead to a better career later down the road in Supercross, because it'll lead to better technique, and that leads to better pace through the whoops. So definitely needed that, and it's going to help me a lot.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.